like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all want to...
Mace and Betha, Murder Mace, coming at us hard with welcome back. So you know what? NFL, welcome back. You tune in to Behind the Curtain, episode number 1, 2, 3. Sorry my co-host isn't here. Brian, he's on assignment right now in Las Vegas. Nothing more to say about that. So give Brian a huge shout out whenever you can. As you can see, we try to spruce things up on the set, production team. They came up with a couple of ideas of putting jerseys in the background. I was, well, okay, that's cool, no big deal. So, as you can see, I gotta give a shout out to my production team for putting this together. And my co-host who will be back shortly. And in the words of the great Mason Betha, welcome back. So football season is here, and that's what we're going to start talking about from this point forward. Basketball, we can talk about. It's a couple of issues that I feel about basketball, but it's nothing that's prevalent right now, especially now that the NFL is back on, and this week started preseason. And so because this week started preseason, I think that this is a perfect time to start off, talking about the NFL. And, everybody has a say-so about this, that, and the third about the NFL. But I'm going to be as real as possible to the NFL and about the NFL as I could possibly be. One of the first problems that, seems to be happening in the NFL right now is the national anthem protest. Whether you against it, whether you for it, really doesn't matter. It's your decision. You can choose to watch it, choose not to watch it. It's your choice. So I just look at it as a veteran, it's your First Amendment right, to do what you want to do. So personally, however you feel about it is how you're going to react to it. Whether you want to be rah with the players or whether you choose not to, say you hate the players, that's your choice. I don't think there's anything wrong with a peaceful protest. You're not causing harm to anybody. You're just there, quiet, whether it's kneeling or whether it's standing. And I just find it funny how people have an issue with that, talking about patriotism. And I wonder how many of those people have actually served in the military when they describe patriotism, because that's the whole purpose of patriotism, is to give these people freedoms so that they can have a voice, so that they can speak out. So why would you want to not have anybody speak out against something that they feel was wrong? If it were you in that situation and somebody was doing something wrong to you, wouldn't you want somebody who was on a higher plateau to speak out for you? I think I would, because they have that voice, they have that power to reach out to other people that I'm unable to reach out to. So, hey, it is what it is. And, the NFL tried to stop it by saying that any player who kneels or any player that doesn't come out, will be the team would fine them, or the NFL will fine them. So since it started this year, we had a couple people, actually 2 Miami Dolphins kneel. And I think it was a couple equal players that put their fist up in the air and protest against the national anthem. So I just don't see how this is going to end up, because everybody has a point or opinion about it. And to me, it's small and simple, because if you take it away, meaning that you don't play the national anthem at the football games, then we have nothing to worry about. You removing that part or that aspect of the game away, so then you just have the players come out on the field, because it wasn't too long ago that you didn't actually hear the national anthem at football games. So, if you want to be critical about the situation, if it wasn't there before, take it away now. Then you have nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about people up in arms about this and that, because it's not being played. So just my suggestion, don't let it play, or don't play it at all. You have nothing to worry about. And if you don't like it, and you shouldn't sit here trying to say those people being unpatriotic because they aren't playing this national anthem, then that's just what it is that they've been unpatriotic. But I don't see that happening. But that's water under the bridge for right now. But another part that's like really upsetting is that the president of the United States is taking it upon himself to keep on criticizing these NFL players. And I'm just at all because I'm like, you're the president of America. Like, don't you have other things to worry about as opposed to whether you care about whether these players kneel, stand, sit, whatever the case may be? Like, you're the president of the United States of America. I think you should be worried about other things besides these NFL players protesting. And so then that got me to thinking about, well, maybe he has some type of influence on the NFL because after he said what he said, I'm not going to say what he said, but after he said it, the NFL decided to go back in there and make some changes. And I'm just like, wow, like, so you're trying to tell me that the president of the United States has influence on the NFL to the point where he's actually going in there to make them change rules so that these players don't protest because of what's going on in the world. Wow. Wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the president of the United States of America by worrying about what's going on outside of sports? The more people keep saying keep politics and sports separate, the more and more politics and sports are coming into play. So, what do you do? And how do you decide what you're going to do next? Because to me, you're putting both of them in the same basket. And if you want to separate them, keep them separate. Don't say on one hand, let's separate them, and then on the other hand, you're incorporating them. Makes no sense. So keep them separate. That way you don't have to worry about it. Keep the national anthem out of football games or any sports, period. Then you don't have anything to worry about people protesting. If you keep it in there, just know there's a possibility that some people are going to protest against it because they don't agree with what it stands for, which is individual persons or people. No, that doesn't make sense. It means individuals have their freedoms. So you have your freedoms. So you can do what you want, just like the next person can do what they want. It's quite simple. So, that's my political rant for right now. So we're going to bypass that and we're going to move into something else like actual football, And so we have a bit of sad news to report on. There were two rookies that actually tore their ACLs. One of the rookies was the running back for the Washington Redskins, Darius Geis, who, if I'm not mistaken, he was the second round pick, but he should have been the first round pick. But he had some things pending, so you know how that goes. So they decided to go ahead and push him towards the second round. But this was supposed to be a monster year for him because he was a rookie. He was on the verge of trying to show everybody what he could do, and he winds up suffering a horrific ACL tear. So now he's out for the season. That doesn't mean that their season is over by any stretch of the imagination. It just means that they're down one running back. But I'm pretty sure, like most teams, they have 4 to 5, maybe 6 running backs. So I'm not saying somebody could replace him, but in the same token, that's the next person's job is to step up and fill that void that he left. Another rookie that also suffered a ACL tear was the Colts rookie wide receiver, Deion Kane. That's unfortunate because the thing that kind of is like a catch-22 is the fact that, although you don't want to play preseason games, you actually have to play preseason games because you need to see who is progressing and who is not progressing, because you don't want to put players in situations once the regular season starts and they're not progressing, then it's going to make your team look bad. But then in the same token, that's the risk you take because injuries are part of the game, and you don't want to keep sustaining injuries just to get to the point of the regular season, and then you're not going to have those guys once the season starts. So it's like a catch-22 when it comes to preseason. People love it because football is back, but you don't want it to be someone from your team to sustain one of those injuries, because if they are on your team, then it's going to affect you a little bit different. Granted, it's one player, but it depends on how you view that one player, because not everybody is going to view that player the same way. So some people won't say, hey, it's just one player. Another person going to be like, he was an intricate part of our team. So now, our team is not going to do da-da-da. But again, it's just preseason. So you never know what your team is going to do. You never know how your team is going to rebound or if your team is going to fold. You don't know. So, just look at it as an opportunity. Granted, not the greatest opportunity, but look at it as an opportunity for the next man to step up and try to take over the reins and try to take over that spot. it's always a situation where you're trying to create something for someone else. Um, and this, granted, it's not the best, but hey, it's an open situation for the next person. And next we're gonna talk about the Jets. Oh man, they might have a little bit of a dilemma on their hand. Last night I was watching some of the game. We had the first quarterback which was McCown. He came in, 39-year-old veteran, came in and looked pretty well as as expected because he's been around for a while. Whether he bounced around or not, he still was able to show actually how good he was. So now you have Teddy Bridgewater come in after him. Teddy Bridgewater is looking pretty nice, and he looked really nice to the point of I think he was like 13 or 15 or something like that. And it's preseason, but considering that Teddy Bridgewater tore up his ACL and I forgot what else he did, but it was pretty significant to the point he literally missed like 2 years of football. And so now he's back out there throwing the ball, looking sharp. And I didn't expect that, especially not for him to look as sharp as he did, but he did. And then you have the rookie that you just drafted, Sam Darnold, and he came in looking stupendous. Granted, it's probably second, third string, but the fact that he came in and still played well bodes well for the Jets. So now they might find themselves in a dilemma to the point of, all right, which quarterbacks do we keep and which quarterback do we let go? I can tell you right now, odds on there that Sam Donald's not going anywhere. So now you have to make a decision between Teddy Bridgewater and McCown, and that's a decision that you have to come up with as the Jets organization. And I know I wouldn't want to make that decision because I wouldn't want to make the wrong decision. But one of those individuals are going to have to go, and so that's a really tough call because you're not getting rid of your rookie because you just drafted him. So you're either going to trade McCown or you're going to trade Bridgewater, but one of them two are probably going to go. And then from what I understand is Sam Darnold is like really pushing these guys in practice. So if he's pushing them, he might be pushing to the point of he might have to get a starting job. And if he gets a starting job, then one of those guys are going to be relished to the backup. I mean, you already know what you have in McCown. You've seen him before. This is not his first year with the team. Bridgewater is like, you don't really know because he hasn't really played a lot. And then you have Sam Darnold, who's your rookie. And if he's pushing those two, it's a strong possibility you might just go ahead and go with Sam Darnold. But that's not my decision. I'm just giving you the facts as they are. Another issue right now is holdouts. And the biggest one that we keep hearing about is Khalil Mack. And he's been holding out since the beginning, I think, the beginning of the training camp. And he's been hitting in pockets for a whopping $814,000. Don't know about you. It's a lot of money that's being left out there. But he believes in what he believes in. So if he wants that extension, he's going to hold out until he gets that extension. Now, granted, the Raiders might see, or they might try to hold out and be like, well, we're not going to pay him. And if they don't pay him, then it's a possibility he could sit out probably for the whole season. And I hope he saved up a lot of money because he's getting taxed heavily for him holding out. But if that's what he believes in and he wants to get that extension, hey, if he's owed that, because he has been one of the best players in football, defensive players in football, the last couple of seasons. So it's about the Raiders organization justifying the fact that, well, we're not going to pay him or we are going to pay him. Because if he leaves, that's going to be a tremendous void left behind by the left in the Raiders defense. And you need him out there. He helps set the tone for the defense. So letting him go, whether it be by trade or whether you cut him, which I doubt they cut him, but that's something that they have to come up with. And right now, that's a tough call because you definitely need him on defense. But then as an organization, do you want to pay him that kind of money? That's a tough decision because granted, he's been in the league